Test one. Hello, hello. Hello? Can you hear me? Tell me if you can hear me, Jared. I'm trying to see figure this out. Seeing if I can. First time I've ever done this live stuff. Oh, okay. There's Thor. Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's the first time I've tried this and see how it goes. Let's see. Are there something down here I hit that shows the chat? Thor, you're good at this. So, what do you guys think of the race today? I'll get it figured out in a minute, guys. I'm just trying to figure out. Okay, now I got it. Now I can see. Cool. I know one thing, guys. I've been reading on the internet. A lot of people is really frustrating. They're uh, a lot of people saying it was extremely boring and this and that. But I mean, it's a road course race. Unless everybody wants to see everybody wreck, I don't understand it. I mean, it's always been like that. People get spread out, and you know, that's just road course racing. I thought it was a pretty good race between Harvick and Truex. Uh, they was pretty much neck and neck all the way down through there. To Cole Pern out until he outsmarted him. But one thing I did notice, guys, I don't know if you guys noticed, but did you guys notice how empty the stands was? Uh, yeah, it would have been interesting to see if Harvick could have held off Truex because right before they pitted there, Truex had called him. He was like within a half a second, so it would have been kind of interesting to see him run it. He will mastermind, yeah. Yeah, he is. They knew what they was doing. But yeah, like I say, guys, if you notice, I think there was more people at the truck race than there was the cup race today. I mean, them stands was empty. There wasn't nobody in there. And I'm hated for H.A. Allmendinger. Yeah, they do, Thor. I got a lot of stuff to work out. Uh, I think, first of all, I think they put out. Yeah, they was empty. I think they put the schedule out too soon, myself. And, because, I mean, like I said, just watch the truck race compared to that race. And tell me what you think with the fans. What incarnation, what's going on. You're everywhere, buddy. No matter what. You're all over the place. What do you think about the race? Thor, I see you're only 5 subscribers away from that 100, man. We gotta get you there so one of us try to win one of them diecasts. Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people thought it was boring, and it was kind of boring if you like. It's typical road course racing. I mean, it's a there wasn't no wrecks today. That I think that had a lot to do with a lot of people saying it's boring. If I had to pick any crew chief in the garage, it would definitely be Cole Byrne. He proved that today. Now I agree with you on that. Let's remove. Let's put in some more short tracks. I do agree with that. Uh, Definitely. Too many 1.5 mile tracks. Let's put in a couple more short tracks. I miss Wilkesboro. It was good racing there. Anybody seen Rusty Wallace? Anybody know where he's been? I haven't seen him in a while. Yeah, I like DW too. Uh, Fox is okay. I just think they just need to change a few things around. I think they need a new leader. Mike Joy's been there too long. He tries to make things going on in the race that ain't actually really happening. He'll be getting all excited about somebody's 10 seconds behind the leader. Like at the end of the race there, where he's like, "Oh, Harvick, now Harvick's catching Truex here," and there's like 3 laps to go, and he's 13 seconds behind. I'm like, come on. It's gonna be interesting to see Dale Jr. on NBC. I think he'll take him a few races to kind of get in the flow. It's gonna be a whole different world for him. But really, guys, if you think about it, I don't know if you saw my video earlier, Thor, but I, Kyle Larson, man, he's such a good talent, but I just feel like he don't have the team. I don't feel like his team believes in him, and I don't feel like it just seems like they need something. Like I said, if he was in a different car, a little better equipment, I think he would run better. I really do. Yeah, well, coordination. Yeah, if Larson was Gibbs, he'd tear him up, man. There's no telling how many races he'd win. Because Truex used to run with that Ganassi Racing, and he was just average. He was around 10th place car every week, and once he finally got out of there, got some other cars. Michael Waltrip, he went there and run pretty decent, and then he went over to Furniture Row, and they teamed up with Gibbs and made a hell of a difference. Yeah, I felt bad for AJ too. Yeah, I reckon he's downshifted in the first gear and just popped. But that's another thing. Is AJ Allmendinger? Look how good he was running, and he was running in a really poor equipment compared to Truex. And imagine if he would have been in a top-notch ride. It'd been unbelievable there. I can't remember. Where do we go next? Where do they race at next week anyway? That's bad. I can't remember. Oh goodness, Chicagoland. Hmm. You know who runs good at Chicagoland, don't you? Not trying to brag or nothing, but the guy that's won the last two playoff races there. I'm just saying, if you guys do your picks next week, uh, I wouldn't count the 78 out. Yeah, but you never know, though. I mean, he is good there, but he could have that bad luck like AJ did, and something happened to the engine or anything. And they've kind of caught up to him a little bit too. Harvick and him has on the mile and a halves. It's going to be an interesting race all the way. Now, what Incarnation's right about there is Daytona's anybody can win. I mean, it's wide open. Austin Dillon proved that earlier this year. Of course, the other 34 cars wrecked, but he still pulled it off. I ain't got nothing against Austin Dillon. None of them. It's just pure pure luck. Chris Bushler. You know, I really don't know what to say about him. He's kind of a guy. He's too quiet. It's like you never hear anything out of him. Not even during the race, they don't even mention his name. Like he don't even exist or something. Uh, but that truck race was a good race. I enjoyed watching that. That was I hate it for what's the guy that drives number 16 truck? Uh, he was running real good there until he got wrecked there. How's my connection anyway, guys? Like I said, I'm just trying this out for the first time. I don't know if it's any good or not. Can you guys hear? I mean, is the connection pretty good? Well, Thor's back. Did I cut out Thor's or you? Oh, okay. I'm drinking a Pepsi. I'm drinking a Diet Sundrop. Who would I think would be in the Big Five? Well, hmm. Let's see. Well, you know you got Truex, Harvick, Kyle Busch. We know it's the big three. Uh, Boyer, I think you got to throw him in there as a big four. And like, I would love to say Larson could get in the big five, but I just don't feel the team. I just don't feel the connection between the teams. Uh, Brad Keselowski's hard. He's struggling right now. I don't know really. I mean, really, to tell you the truth, I don't know if they are a big five. Uh, hmm. Chase Elliott done good today, yo. You gotta give him credit. That actually surprised me how good he ran. Hmm. That's a good question, the Big Five. Yeah, Kurt Busch is he's been running pretty consistent. I could see him sneaking up there and getting the win here before long. And how many winners have there been this year? 6 winners out of 16 races or something. To me, it's weird how Penske is slower than Stewart and Haas. Uh, if you think go back to last year, you know, Stewart and Haas wasn't that fast, but they're like way better than the Penske cars. I think a lot of it too has to do with their team. They're just really gelling together. With Clint and Kevin gets along real good since they used to be teammates back with RCR. I was kind of surprised they wasn't a young driver today besides Chase run more competitive. Uh, I thought William Byron would have done a little bit better than he did because he qualified so good and everything. Eric Jones, I guess he finished seventh. He had a pretty good day. Yeah, I want to get a podcast on here sometime, guys. Get a few of you guys going on sometime. Get some guests on here. Talking about Rusty and Timmy Hill, and get some more people. Yeah, Walking Coordination will definitely do it once we get things figured out. I've been trying to get in touch with Rusty, but he ain't on much anymore. I'd say William Byron, Rookie of the Year. Yeah, I will. I'll check it out for sure. Like I said, it's the first time I've ever tried this live stuff. And I wouldn't be trying it right now if I hadn't seen Thor do it the other day. He gave me enough nerve to actually try it. Cool. How's Timmy on the old Xbox? Is he any good? I haven't had time since I've got a 3-year-old girl, so I haven't had time to go online and do the stuff I used to do. I used to race a lot on iRacing and was pretty competitive on iRacing. Done pretty decent. I used to help Nick Ottinger build setups. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but he lives just right down the road from me. He's a really good iRacer. Yeah, how many? How long does Thor? How long is Kyle Larson got in his contract? You know. Hey, hey, hey! What's going on? I thought somebody today was going to get the pick five contest, but how many wins do I have on iRacing? Jeez, I don't know. Uh, uh, Probably about 60 or 70, somewhere in there. A lot of them was, yeah, it kind of, the higher I got in the top splits, the less wins I got. So, Once I got into the big leagues, and racing for the Pro Series and all that stuff, it got extremely tough. But one thing I did do, I did get lucky and I did win the 2013, I think. It's either 12 or 13, split three Daytona 500. I got the certificate for it. What I did was when I won the 500, I just laid in the back of the pack and let. Pretty much I pulled Austin Dillon, except I didn't wreck the guy leading at the end. I just waited everybody to recognize at the right place. My favorite track on iRacing is definitely Dover. I had a ton of success at Dover. But it got to the point though with iRacing is it takes up so much time. I mean, you literally got to practice and practice and practice and try different setups and tricks. Me and a few other guys I run with, Stephen Gilbert and a few other guys, we had some tricks up our sleeve that you wouldn't believe would work for. It wouldn't work at a real life car, but we'd take like air pressures and really just crazy stuff and be really competitive with it. I didn't win no championships, but I did finish fourth in the Xfinity Championship one season. I could have finished up to second, but I had a few bad races there towards the end. I actually got a certificate for that too, for finishing fourth there. Which I haven't been on there in a while. A lot of people have told me it's kind of changed a lot, and the cars don't are really kind of bad. The Cup cars, so I don't know. Believe it or not, I'm not near as happy to see him win now as I was last year and the year before because it's getting to the point now to where I kind of expect it. Uh, Now, if you asked me that question last year or the year before, I had a 9 out of 10. But now it's kind of like, well, I expect at least see him win a few races now. Which I raced with his brother Ryan on the. All right, buddy, you have a good one. Uh, I used to race with Ryan Truex on that racing. Ryan's a pretty cool guy. I've run with Ryan Truex. I've run with Ryan Blaney. See who else? Trevor Bain. Uh, Trevor Bain. I raced with him on there a few times. Oh, cool. And when's NASCAR Heat 3 coming out? Does anybody know? I might actually have a little time to mess with that for fun. Oh, it's coming out that quick next month. Did you say what driver will make the playoffs without a win? I think that's what you said with Jimmy Johnson. Will definitely do it. July 7th. Okay. I'll check that out. I like NASCAR too, except for the. I think there's a lot of options that they could do better in the game, like with the AI. I think they need to work on that a little bit, and maybe have like NBA 2K does. Put legends in the game. Like Kelly Yarborough and Richard Petty and some of them people, like as a DLC or something like that. I think that'd be pretty cool. That would be something if Matt did win a race. Actually, that would be cool. I'd love to see that. Matt seems like he's a good guy. He's just in a piece of crap car. That's the thing about NASCAR nowadays is half the field, half the race cars out there just sucks. It ain't the drivers, it's the cars. Yeah, I think he finished what sixth at Bristol one year, 2 year ago or something like that. I remember it. He said what you said. That's a pretty good run. Like I said, I was just shocked with the stands. I know they kept showing pictures of the stands up there, and it would be like look like there's 100 people sitting there. Where there was 7,000 seats, there's 100 people in there. I'm like, that's crazy. That's just ridiculous. I remember 10 years ago that place was packed to the max, sold out. You could probably get a ticket today for $5 if you was there. And I don't know. I don't know if it's to do with the sales or what, because they only get what 2 races out in California or something like that during the year. Definitely going to Homestead. I'm definitely putting my money on, of course, my man Truex, Harvick for sure. Uh, Kyle Busch number three, and then number four I think will be up in there. I think they could be 6 or 7 driver. Now Clint, if he was to win a couple more races and build up more of them playoff points, he might make it in there. I don't know. Them playoff points mean so much. What do you think about it? Harvick and Kyle Busch and Truex. They're going to win enough races where they could miss one race and still advance to the next round. That's that's how much they're building up. So you can almost, if all three of them win 6 races before the playoffs, you can pretty much guarantee them into the final four, pretty much. Remember last year they kept saying Truex. I remember when the playoffs started, they kept saying, "Well, now Truex is not a guarantee to make it to the championship." And I want to say, uh, well, he does have a one full race advantage on everybody. So all he had to do was slide by. And once he got to the final eight and he had 60 points ahead of everybody else, he was guaranteed to go. So, man, them playoff points are huge. I mean, I think they're. That's why Harvick and Truex didn't care about that 1 point in the stages today. They wanted to win the race to get them 5 points. That was the main deal. Chase Elliott, he's going to win. You just wait and see. He proved today. I think he took a car that wasn't capable of running top five and he finished there. That's just my opinion on it. Because the Chevrolets are just a little bit off. They're still trying to figure that car out and trying to get things put together. And Hendrick Motorsports is so young. You know, I mean, you got William Byron, Chase Elliott's got a little bit of experience, and Alex Bowman. They're all so young. They just and then you got Jimmy Johnson trying to help them out. Man, it's kind of hard for an old man like Jimmy Johnson to help out kids. You know, half his age. Of course, I'm sure Jeff Gordon's trying to help him out too, which he'll have more time on this. Do you think he's going to run a truck race, guys? I think he'll run Martinsville. That'd be pretty interesting too. Is anybody going to does anybody live close to Bristol, Tennessee, or Charlotte that they might be going to a race? Because I'm gonna head down to. I'm pretty much guarantee I'm gonna be at the road course in Charlotte. I might even be at the night race in Bristol. I don't know. It all depends on the situation. I watched some of the Formula One races tonight, and it was they had a lot more people there than the Cup race do. I mean, in the stand, you can actually see people in the stands. They're gonna have a. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get to do it, but here in the next 2 weeks, I think they're having the open test down at Charlotte for the Roval. So if I get a chance to get down there, I might be able to get some video. I think it's open free to the public. So if I get a chance, I'll see if I can get some video of that. I seen all right, man. You have a good one, Thor. Thanks for coming on. That's cool. Like I said, just trying this out, see how it goes, and maybe we'll get another podcast going sometime. There's just not enough of them. I mean, there's like, are you still in here, Walking Carnation? Are you still in here? Okay, so yeah, you know that the podcast. I think you was on one of them. I can't remember what it's called. I watched it a few times. Pretty cool. The one with the iceberg and them. The one Rusty was on. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'd like to get 3 or 4 people. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we need a few more. We need a few more podcasts. They just ain't enough NASCAR to talk about. You know what I'm saying? It's a never-ending thing. That was cool though. You got to be on there, man. It was pretty cool. I get tickled at Rusty every time I watch him. He sits there. I was like, Rusty, talk, talk. Yeah, that's true. I love watching Rusty's videos when he gets excited. He gets all pumped up and everything. I love it. So, how long have they been doing that podcast anyway? Because I just recently kind of really started watching it, a few about last 2 or 3 weeks. Oh, okay. I haven't had a chance to talk to Danny, but I don't think he lives too far from me. I think he's down towards Bristol, down in that area. So I'm sure I could hook up and meet him sometime down at the track. Because I'm about 40, 45 minutes from Bristol Speedway. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he said he's from down in that area. Ah, there he is. We were just talking about you. You should have heard what Incarnation said about you. Horrible. How's it been going, Rusty? I'm just testing this out. Thought I'd get on here and try it out and see how the connection was, see how my mic's working and all that stuff. I was just telling what Incarnation. Yeah, I was just telling what Incarnation. Maybe sometime in the future we get a little time, we'll get that podcast up and running sometime. Maybe we can talk old Charlie NASCAR getting on there. I doubt it, but that would be kind of hilarious. So, what do you think of the race today, man? Yeah, Charlie is. He just tell. What I love about Charlie is he just says what he thinks. He don't care. That's what I love about him. Ain't no playing around. He just says what he thinks and goes on. Well, I was happy today, Rusty, but I know a lot of people is complaining, saying it's an extremely boring race. Which, I mean, technically, if you don't like road course racing, it was boring. Uh, I mean, it's just what it is, what it is, and a lot of people they're going to have to accept it. You're going to have 3 or 4 guys all year that's going to run up front, no matter where you go, except for Daytona, Talladega. Uh, uh, that's what I've been telling the guy I work with. He's complaining, say, "Man, I just wish it would be other people have a chance." I'm like, it ain't gonna happen this year. You got 3 or 4 drivers, Truex, Harvick, Bush, and even Boyer, and a couple more. That's who it's going to be all the way to the end. They're just that good. I mean, you've seen how big of a lead Truex and Harvick and Boyer had on everybody else. It's like a 15-second lead over fourth place. It's ridiculous. It was just domination. Yeah, Boyer's got a good chance of winning, definitely again. Yeah, you're right. Could be some special. If they would have been a caution today, you could have seen a special moment, especially in those last few laps. But if you look back in time, it was the same way back in. If you go back in the early '80s, I think Darrell Waltrip won 24 races in 2 years. Him and Bobby Allison and Dale Earnhardt and all them guys. It's always been like it. It's just Uh, they might be been a few more competitive cars in the '90s. Yeah, Gordon. Yeah, and Jimmy Johnson won what 5 championships in a row. That's a that's just unreal. But every the chase is different back then too. But he earned it though. And Jimmy's actually been running pretty good lately. He's sneaking his way up in there, top 10. Well, I'm glad you come in, man. Good to see you. And like I said, maybe we'll hook up with Timmy sometime and get Martin Carnation in here, and maybe we'll get a podcast going one day. All right, buddy? Yeah, have a good one, man. So if they are somebody else that's going to win, who do you guys think's going to win? Out of the drivers that ain't won this year, who do you think will be the next guy to win? Marcinelli, yeah. If Jimmy gets an eighth championship, I don't. It won't be this year. Chevrolets are too far behind. I'm not saying he won't win one, but I just don't think it'll be this year. I'm kind of leaning towards Kurt Busch. I think he's close enough to where he could be the next winner. One reason is because he was Stewart and Haas too, and they got superior equipment, and they're like way faster than everybody else except for a couple people. Uh, I'm just really surprised how slow Brad's been lately. But there's a lot of drivers, though, you think about it, it's going to have some good rides open. It's like I was saying, you got Denny Hamlin, Clint Boyer, you got a lot of Harvick, a lot of these people. Jimmy Johnson's in their 40s and all. Uh, there's going to be some good rides opening up over the next 2 to 3 years. So if Larson's smart, he'll hang on and try to get one of them Hendrick rides or Gibbs rides. If he can sneak into one of them, then look out. I think he could be the next Jeff Gordon if he gets in the right car. I think that's what's holding him back right now. You can just tell he just don't have that chemistry with his team. His crew chief Chad Johnston, which used to be Truex's crew chief, and they had the exact same relationship. It was like it'd be competitive one week, and then next week it'd be off, and then competitive, and then off. So maybe one day he'll get hooked up with the right person. Because the future is Larson, Chase Elliott, uh, William Byron, a lot of these young guys. That's the future. Uh, I got to try to get me a think of a new driver to pull Ford Truex retires because he'll be 38 tomorrow, so he's not a young chicken anymore. Of course, nowadays 38's like old for NASCAR. Used to they didn't even start till it's 30. Now it's like you got to be 17 before you start. Mark Martin. Of course, Harry Gant was 50-year old and he won 4 races in a row, I think. 4 or 5. But that was different times, though. Cars wasn't the same and stuff like that. Harry Gant was a tough guy. uh, you just, it's just you, buddy. You know it. It's like me. I don't know anything about the 70s. I didn't get into racing until uh, early 80s. And like I said, I was a huge Darrell Waltrip fan. And it was hard as hell whenever he started sucking. After watching somebody win, dominate, and win championships, and whenever he got older, well, he had that bad wreck at Daytona, and that killed him. And he sucked since then. It was horrible. I thought that's what happened to Jimmy, but he's actually running a little better. Of course, Dale Jr. had all them wrecks too, and that kind of messed him up. But anyway, guys, thanks for coming on here. I'm gonna cut this thing off here and get something to eat and relax. But I just want to test it out. Maybe we'll get that podcast going, stuff, what coordination, and so you guys have a good one. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I watch it when I can, man. I watch them when I get a chance. But anyway, you guys have a good one. We'll see you guys later.